What's up, guys? Marco's here, and as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Blue Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know this isn't working. All right, check this out. Okay, I'm gonna get to the story here in a second, but you're about to see something new. All right, this is out of that mad brain that I have here. See, if you have a man cave and you want something different out of my crazy brain, I'm always trying to come up with something creative and something different. This, my friends, this is the very first end table football. Now, can you see it? This is going to be painted black because that's the kicking tee. That's the football. We might do. We're going to do two. We're going to do two versions because I got two of these. These are the very first two. One, I'm going to have the wooden top like this. I'm going to make the top blue. I'm going to make all of this silver. The football and the base right here will be silver. This will be black. Oh, that's going to be nice. Or I've ordered glass. Take that off and have a glass see-through top. Make this silver and this blue. Ooh. Anyway, this is what I like doing. I like being creative. I like coming up with something different than what anybody else has done before, and it literally drives me. So today we talk about practice. Not a game now. We talk about practice. First, Micah Parsons has now signed his rookie contract. He is good to go. He is under contract. He is locked down for the next 4 to 5 years. 5 years, of course, if they put on the fifth-year option, something they didn't do with Leighton Vander Esch. Okay, so that's great news. Then we got my quarterback, my teammate, Dak Prescott. And if you say anything about him, it's not fair. It's not fair. Man, you can see from the first couple of practices when we first started OTAs 3 weeks ago, where Dak was and where he is now. The picture, the picture on this cover, you see Dak is moving around, and as he said, I have buried this injury. It's done. It's over with, and you can see him gaining confidence every day, and that he's feeling better and better about it. And see, in some regards, it may be, you don't want to be injured ever. You don't ever want to be injured. But I'm almost thinking that he may end up being better off having the broken bone than, say, an ACL or a ruptured Achilles tendon and things like that. Although, let's be clear here. Let's be clear. Modern medicine is a whole lot better today than it was back in my day. See, they can go through and they can patch together an ACL like it's nothing. They can go through and put bones back together and splint it up and just like it's brand new. Back when I grew up, basically a knee injury was a career ender. Pretty much. I remember maybe I was a sophomore or so and seeing this documentary on knees and football injuries. And in that, they had a clip of them actually doing surgery on a knee. And as opposed to having the scope, they basically cut your knee above the kneecap on down and peeled it back. Because that video, or that movie we watched, okay, it was probably 8mm. They literally had the knee open, and they had 4 like pins holding the skin open, so that way they exposed everything so they could go in and work on it. The problem with that is that scar alone, and let me see if I can get my leg. Well, I'll tell you what, we got modern stuff here. I want you to understand what didn't burn off here. This is actually a scar from when I had a flesh-eating bacteria in my knee, and they literally had to do that. When they sewed it back together, they used, I would say, about 40-pound test fishing line is about the thickness of it. Any of you that go fishing, you know what 40-pound fishing line is like. That was what they used to sew the suture, or the cut open. I mean, closed. As opposed to my left leg. My left leg, when I was 18 years old, the final preseason game, I tore my ACL. And the orthoscope was in its infancy. They were just being able to use it to look inside. They weren't able to do all of the great things they can now with the scope. It was very, very new. And when I tore my ACL, I went to the hospital. They took an x-ray and they said, oh, we don't see any damage because you won't see it on an x-ray. And they said, go see your doctor on Monday. I go see my regular family doctor on Monday, and they're like, well, ice it and stay off of it. So from that point, I finally, after a week of it not getting better, the swelling still being there, and me, of course, trying to lift weights and trying to run because you're a warrior when you get hurt. I understood completely when Dak tried to put his foot back into place, because that's your mentality when you play. They sent me to Dr. Ain, Brent Ain, who was one of the pioneers of the scope. And he's like, I think you got an ACL problem in there. And they went into my knee with the scope. When I came back out of surgery 2 hours later, there were 3 holes, only 6 stitches from where they went in. They weren't able at that time to rebuild it. They cleaned it up. They just let it cut it up and boom, put it back together. Sent me to physical therapy. Operations on Friday. Monday I'm doing physical therapy. And 2.5 weeks later, and you'll call me a liar. You'll say I'm a liar. But 2.5 weeks later, I was actually playing in a football game. That's the honest to God truth. If you don't believe me, that's fine. It doesn't matter. I know what happened. Basically, they said, your ACL was like 2 mop ends. We just trimmed it. There's nothing we can do with it. Eventually, instead of cutting you open and doing an ACL surgery where we basically taking a tendon from a cadaver, best thing to do is just wait a few years. Put a brace on you, and maybe you might play a game or 2 before the end of the season, but that's the best thing we can do. Nowadays, it's no big deal. Nowadays, they rebuild stuff like crazy. So I almost think, because of when you think of the bone, once the bone is healed, it's fused together, it's locked together. When you do an ACL, you're talking about it being drilled into a bone, that it's got to now start getting that flexibility. You've got to get rid of that tightness and things like that, where it's literally like that rubber band that's holding everything together. And to me, that's a little bit more difficult than Dak Prescott having a broken bone, because once the bone's back together, now it's about getting the muscle strength back, which shouldn't be as bad of a deal. The other part of this is, and I remember, had I known at the time, I would have definitely blasted it out there like it was breaking news. But you'll remember when they were talking about Dak Prescott's second surgery, when I talked to his Uncle Philip a week before that, he told me about it. That they went in his ankle where he had, bone spurs and things like that were there for years, that were a little bit of an issue. They went in and cleaned those out, that made his ankle in better shape. Of course, right there before the draft, we had everybody going through, Dak Prescott has secret surgery. It's like, I talked about that a week ago. But that went in to do kind of maintenance work, like a lot of players do in the off season, to get themselves 100%. It's gotten to the point where surgery for most of these players is like a enormity, that they literally just go in because, my shoulder's a little bit, boom, we're gonna go in with the scope, we're gonna smooth that out a little bit so that way you don't get that popping sensation. So I'm excited about where Dak Prescott is, and to see him going through these last couple of days. Tomorrow will be the last practice. We know guys, that Dak will be working out at his home on his Dak Prescott football field with the guys. I can guarantee you that they're not going to skip a beat on that offense. I can't wait. And I can't wait to get this finished. I think what we're going to do with this table, I'm thinking about doing this as a giveaway. The biggest problem I'm going to have for doing these things is going to be figuring out how to ship it, because I'm sure it's going to cost a fortune to ship it because of the size. But one of you guys out there will get this table. I'm Mark Holmes, and I hope you are having a great day. Oops, hit the wrong button. Hope you're having a great day, and I will see you later. Peace.